Everywhere you look these days, it's March Madness. First, there was the announcement that Warren Buffett is finally buying a purely tech company. You may have heard of it, called Apple. Yeah. Well, he drew a comparison between iTunes, Apple iTunes, and the Gillette razor blades. Each is the repeatable purchase for its respective company. Procter & Gamble doesn't make its money from razors. It makes its money from the blades. And the same thing goes for Apple and iTunes, right? Well, everyone got really excited that Warren Buffett, one of the biggest investors in the world, has bought Apple not only for Berkshire Hathaway, but for his own portfolio personally. And Wall Street analysts came out in droves and even upgraded Apple by assigning higher and higher price targets for the stock, because what's good for Warren must be good for all of us, right? But I find myself wondering, who's left to buy Apple stock now? I mean, when the biggest investor in the world, or one of them, just bought up as much as he could, and ate as many apples as possible, who's left? So for our clients who are in the InvestNet models, we took the opportunity to sell Apple at an all-time high with the plan to buy it back if it's trading at a better valuation in the future. Maybe the market has a little oopsie. And this was roughly a 40% gain from when we purchased Apple in early 2016. I don't know if you remember, during that last market crisis. You even remember that? Nah. In other market madness, Snapchat IPO'd last week. Now, many people have compared Snapchat to the early version of Facebook for millennials and tweens, as this is the audience that primarily uses Snapchat. Thus, advertisers are trying to figure out how to gain their attention and build product brands and end users through this platform. But back to the IPO. Unless you bought the stock at the IPO price and there were only a few shares available, you've most likely lost money in the stock. After initially moving higher, Snapchat stock has come right back to earth. And while people are still realizing that Snapchat is a pretty cool app, it's losing money at a very, very fast rate. Very much unlike Facebook, which makes billions off of all of us each month. Whether you're picking a championship team in the NCAA or choosing a sound financial strategy for your situation, there are all sorts of experts called either financial planners or bracketologists who will give you free advice up to a certain point about what you should do. And within the financial markets, there are some index fund companies that suggest that active, read mutual fund managers don't beat the indices over the long period of time. Well, for the people who say this can't be done, there are active managers that have actually beaten the first index ever established. In fact, American Funds just recently announced that five of its mutual funds have done just that, beaten the Vanguard Index since inception. Isn't that nice to know? Oh, things we don't hear that often. Maybe not everything we hear is true. There you go. But going back to basketball, sorry about that, I got off topic. It's well known that the higher the seed, typically the longer the team should last in the tournament, right? Well, most of you are probably thinking that Villanova, Kansas, and North Carolina are very formidable teams, and I'm of that opinion as well. But I question whether Gonzaga, the Zags, should be a number one, despite their impressive 32-1 loss record. I think they'll get their second loss of the season sooner rather than later, perhaps to maybe West Virginia in the Sweet 16. The latest scuttlebutt in the Midwest region is what will happen when Cinderella team Rhode Island meets Oregon with their crazy adjust the color on your screen jerseys. Whew, be fun to see what they're wearing. I expect that Rhode Island might move into the Sweet 16 themselves. And if you're thinking, Dave, why would I root for Rhode Island? Well, keep in mind in the Sweet 16, they could face that unspeakable other Kentucky team west of us, the Louisville Cardinals. And all of you in Lexington that are watching this now just became Rhode Island fans. Welcome to the bandwagon. And if they do make it that far, I suggest that we all get together for a lobster bisque cook-off. Or perhaps, if you don't like lobster, some Cardinal stew. As for Kentucky, who we do expect to advance to the Sweet 16, will most likely meet one of the two teams, either a rematch with UCLA, or, which that'd be a good rematch, or, as it seems to happen every year, or at least every other year, in the NCAA tournament, another bruiser fest with those boys up the road in Cincinnati. Will our boys in blue survive those thuggish Bearcats? Well, I suspect it'll be a lot closer than everyone thinks. Over in the West bracket, I know that everyone loves Arizona, Wildcats, of course, to advance. But give them some consideration that St. Mary's does play teams tight. And if Arizona has an off-shooting night, St. Mary's might make a game of it. Hopefully, there will be plenty of close games to keep you on the edge of that couch or whatever you're sitting on. And in those rare breaks in action for a few TV ads, you'll likely see some financial companies advertising everything from helping save for your kids' college to protecting your family with disability or life insurance to asking if you know how much or you'll need to save for retirement to meet your goals. Well, keep in mind if any of these ads make you sit up and think, I wonder what my reality is. And I wonder what my retirement goal should be. Well, just text us or shoot us a quick email and ask away. We'll make sure we get right back to you with answers pronto, just not until Monday when the games are over.